This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Lila Carter.
Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast. Are you in need of a physical therapist? One might be closer than you think. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing your good neighbor, Jared Caroff with Function Reforged. Jared, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you doing?
Excellent. Thank you so much. We're excited to learn all about you and your business. So please tell us more about your company.
Yeah, so my company is called Function Reforged. Started as a outpatient cash-based physical therapy practice. I do both in-person and virtual physical therapy services, and we're now also providing running coaching. So we're kind of broadening our scope a little bit as well.
Very good. How did you get into this business, Jared?
So I've been a physical therapist for, 8 years now? I started out as a manager of an outpatient clinic, did that job for 4 years and kind of got tired of the just the nature of insurance-based physical therapy. It's a lot of, you just have to see a lot of people in a day. You feel like you can't give everybody the amount of attention that you feel like they deserve or that you want to give them. So once I left that job and had an opportunity, I started my own out-of-pocket based practice so I could spend as much time with my clients as I needed to and give them, what I feel like would be the best possible experience when it comes to physical therapy.
What is one myth or maybe misconception that you would like to address today when it comes to your industry?
So I think there's two that I'm going to touch on, if that's all right. So the first one is that out-of-pocket pay for physical therapy isn't worth it if you have insurance. And not true, one, because if you end up doing the math, you end up spending a lot more time for a lot less money paying out of pocket than you actually do based on like average copays and the average plan of care in outpatient therapy, right? The other thing is that physical therapy is just not a gateway to surgery. You see that a lot. People are like, oh yeah, my doctor said I have to do PT before I get insert surgery. But PT can actually save you from having to get surgeries, which is honestly a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we know that marketing is the heart of every business, who are your target customers and how are you attracting them to the practice?
Yeah, so when I started Function Reforged, my primary clientele are athletes, and specifically I work a lot with lifters and strength sport athletes and runners. So as far as lifters, like power lifters, Olympic weightlifters, I've seen CrossFit athletes, and then also like arm wrestlers, and then a ton of ball sport athletes. And then I got really into, the running community as well. So I've been working a lot with marathon runners, competitive like 5 and 10K runners. So that's kind of been my target audience, but I see people all across that spectrum, right? So not like professional athletes per se, right? So the average person who enjoys running, or the average person who enjoys lifting weights and injury is holding them back from it. Like that's what I do.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast to get your message out there?
So I started doing a podcast with somebody else you guys had on here, actually. His name's Tyler Bordick. He owns Stronger Personal Training in the South Hills. So him and I do a podcast together, actually.
Very good. Yeah. Outside of work, what else do you do for fun?
Oh, man. So, well, I do competitive powerlifting. So lifting weights is fun for me. I know it's not for a lot of people, but I do enjoy it. I like to get into as many sports as I can. So, I recently did a canoe race out in the state of Washington. Like to do climbing. I've done competitive arm wrestling. I'm doing the PSL pickleball league here. So we'll see how that goes. But I got 2 dogs and I'm married. We love going hiking and traveling and doing all that kind of stuff. It's a blast, honestly. I love my time outside of work.
Very nice. So Jared, please tell our listeners one thing that they should remember or something that should stick with them about Function Reforged.
So I think if you've ever had to deal with injury or you don't want to have to deal with injury, you don't have to wait to go to PT or to see somebody or to talk about it until it's like too late. You know, you don't have to wait until you're injured. Like a lot of my clients are people who might have had injuries in the past and they don't kind of know how to get back into training. So I help a lot of them with that. So it's kind of a mix of, you know, physical therapy plus like strength training or getting them back into a running program. But also don't hesitate if you're injured, you know, to reach out, because I provide services. Like I travel to some of my clients. I'll have a new brick and mortar location coming soon. And I also do a lot of things virtually, do a lot of combination based on, you know, what people need. So no matter what the needs of the person are, like Function Reforged, like we can meet those needs. So you know, you're not always having to drive to a clinic to see somebody.
Right. Yeah, I feel like that's so key. And I'm so happy that you said that, because so many people, especially athletes, right? I feel like they suffer in silence with chronic pain, you know, and they just feel like, oh, well, this is just part of being an athlete. You know, I'm going to sacrifice my body for the sport. But really it's like how you need to nurture that voice that's saying, you know, my body is going to start whispering at me until it's screaming. And if you don't listen to the whisper, then, you know, it'll start screaming at you. So it sounds like you're the perfect person to kind of go to kind of as a preliminary action before it gets too bad even, you know, and to kind of help people maintain their wellness before that. That's
the goal. We want athletes to stay healthy and happy and keep getting better and hitting PRs and doing what they love, you know. Injuries happen. We can't prevent them, but, you know, we can do everything we can to minimize our risk too.
Absolutely. So how can our listeners learn more about Function Reforged?
So you can find me on my website, functionreforged.com. You can find me on Instagram, just at Function Reforged. I also write a blog. It's up on the website. I also send emails out. You can sign up for that as well. That's mostly where I do, you know, most of my stuff. You can find me.
Very good. Yeah, we'll be looking out for you. Well, Jared, thank you so much for being on our show. We really appreciate your time today, and we wish you and your business the best moving forward.
Thanks, Layla. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnppittsburgh.com. That's gnppittsburgh.com, or call 412-561-9956.